Now that in my head I'm thinking with V's instead, I can count them super fast. I can go all the way to 27 V's and I'm counting the V's as I do them. And it's super fast. It's like the JESUS thing on steroids 1,000 times more. And it works, and I'm very intelligent with it. And what's more important is that now that I've explained my whole situation that's going on with me here in America, I'm done. I don't have any more thinking to do. And then I realized one of the things that always stops me is that they always try to ask me questions about my past. And if I can't answer them, or I can't make sense, or I get confused and dazed, then that's a fail. And so I should get a movie for being able to understand how I was born and how I got here. And I do. And I completely understand it, and it makes perfect sense, and it eliminates the following. There is no other kind of people like me anywhere on the planet or in the universe somewhere. Period. Here's why. The way I worked, my phone keeps doing stuff, sorry. The way it worked was there wasn't nations, there was just families. And they, every now and then, would fight to the death until too many of their family members died, and then they would stop the war. But for the most part, where I lived was humans that had evolved over thousands and thousands and millions of years. And what I was a watch angel. And what the watch angels would do is, that's the one perfect human that they would make to carry out their mission, because they didn't have spaceships and stuff. But there in the current where the asteroid belt is different. And the animals that evolved there, out near the asteroid belt, the currents are different. It's far away from the sun, but the life still does live there. That's because all the science that we've learned isn't applicable, that they've been teaching. And life does live there. And the animals that were on my planet were different than this one. And what they would do is take all the best animals and just say, well, you know what? The rattlesnake doesn't die. And those birds over there, they disappear and reappear over there. And some of them take off from the planet and go to other planets. And that's how birds were migrating to different planets that way already. So what they did was, they can't really modify themselves, because then you have to die and be reborn through the egg. And I was a perfect dinosaur egg, and I still had that dinosaur egg. And that's why I'm Dean. And it's just dinosaur egg and nothing else now. And that's because as the watch angels would grow, or the watch angel would just live, and their lifespan there is forever, like 10,000 something years, like way long time. And so the watch angel's mission was just to put more humans on these other planets, and then go collect the girls and bring them back. And that's why I could populate a whole planet at once. I could do things that they couldn't do. So they just came up with a resolve of, we'll just have one watch angel. And it's a brother and a sister. And that's what happens. And then I'm really smart, and I do all the things for my family, because my family would raise me. And then every now and then the family would be in wars, but that's about it. They didn't have spaceships or anything. And I would just biologically carry out the mission of getting more girls for them. But then the families would fight, and there would be death, but that was it. And I'm pretty sure they built me with the hopefully he can survive death thing. And anyways, what happened was, I was so smart and in tune with what was going on. Sorry, I'm speaking fast, but my phone keeps dying, so I'm trying to hurry. So that's how it was, a perfect watch angel and a sister, a brother and a sister, and that's how it was. And so every couple hundred years, they would modify the watch angels, or they would become stubborn and not listen to them, because the watch angels' mission is to go get more girls and bring them back. So, of course, every time I went to a planet to pick up a bunch of girls, I would sleep with all of them. And then when I bring them back, they would secretly still be in love with me, and I wouldn't care. And so that would start the motive for them continuously just killing the watch angel every now and then, and just putting a new one in again. And so that's how I was born, and explains why I'm not from a whole race of people like me. And in other words, I'm from a race of people that I was supporting that had built me because they were so smart. And that means I'm still a life form. I'm still a human. I just had all kinds of extra stuff put into me. And I was born through an egg or something probably. But the point is that once they decided they plotted against me to kill me, I probably was in tune with it and figured out, hey, in like 50 years, they're going to kill me. And it was probably just like 5 years on that planet, but over here, like 5 years is like 50 years, because this is planet Earth where all the big animals were, right? I don't know why. Maybe they wanted to grow a larger member thing down their pants. I don't know why. But the point is I was probably in tune with the fact that they were going to eliminate me and upgrade me in like, 5 years. And so during that time, I probably secretly built a bunch of nuclear bombs, because I would have been the smartest thing ever. I was born loaded with a crystal headset. They went side to side. Now it's top down. I'm even better. But I'm pretty sure that I figured out they were going to kill me, or figured out what had happened by doing playbacks, and went ahead and just put a bunch of nuclear bombs all throughout the planet. And then I went ahead and built a spaceship, because I would know how to make one, but I didn't make them for anyone else. And I parked it outside the moon and waited, And so that when the day comes when they do murder me, I'm going to just take off. And so when they murdered me, I probably woke up and they're like, crap, he woke up. And then I went off and run for it. And then they probably told my sister, hey, and they probably told her whatever they had to get her to murder me. And then when she murdered me, and then I died again, and then I woke up and I realized she murdered me. I murdered her while she was in the kitchen eating. And then I was sitting there eating her porridge, and she was dead, and I was like, I got rid of her. Now I'm going to have to kill everyone else and take off now and leave the planet. And then she woke up and came after me and tried to kill me. And when I realized she woke up from death and she was just like me, I probably drop kicked her in the face, dropped her down to the ground, broke her neck, and ripped her head off and ate her right there so she wouldn't wake up. And when I was eating her out, I was probably like, well, it's no big deal. I ate her out all the time. She was my sister anyways. And then I finished eating her. And then I carried out my plan to kill every single one of the guys that lived on the planet where I was from. And then I jumped into space, because I could jump into space because of the currents there from that one bird, right? And then I go to my spaceship that I had hidden, and I blow up the planet. And as the planet's blowing up, I just take off. And I jump to Earth, and then I hang out on Earth until I realize after 100 years of sleeping with black girls that I don't like the Tyrannosaurus Rexes that are running around here, and it's pretty dangerous. So that's when I make the Ice Age or something. But I do think I had about a couple 100 years of living where I seeded a bunch of planets. But again, humans only live for 900 years, and that's because these guys were assholes, and they didn't want them to live that long. And they probably lived for thousands of years. And so what you guys are doing to me still doesn't make sense, because you have to literally kill yourself. You can't do it. You can't upgrade these features of me into you. You can't. You can't do it. You have to be born again. You can't do it. So fundamentally, I'm now safe, and there's no other people like me. So you can't say, oh, well, there's another human hybrid just like John that was seeded a long time ago. No, we just seeded humans. They weren't a watch angel. We didn't seed watch angels. You're not going to find another person like me anywhere in the universe, is my final argument. Thank you. See, in the way I understand it, when I ask myself how I got here, that's my answer. And it makes sense too, because I'm more or less just doing baby booms. But the thing is that it makes perfect sense that they understand how I understand it, because it answers all the questions that they're probably using for excuses to do this to me. Like, for example, well, then why do all the girls have to see him? Well, that was because the family that made me, they didn't like all their girls they had multiple wives, having guys get them pregnant, but they wanted them to have more daughters. So it was perfect to have a watch angel, because now I could be the one that gets all the wives pregnant, and they're not worried about me sleeping with them, because they made me with a brother and a sister, so that I could sleep with my sister all the time and not have to sleep with their wives. But that would cause war, because the girls would always want to sleep with me, and when I would bring them to the planet, I'd already sleep with them, because I'd always sleep with them before I brought them back, and they'd always want to sleep with me. So they kind of, in a sense, made me for their own greedy purposes, but had me around to carry out their purposes. But they would just kill me after, they would kill the watch angels and then just have new ones. But then they incorporated let's put that one rattlesnake in them and see if it works, or whatever. I don't know what it is, but understanding it this way is important because it answers why it's just me and the girls, and it also just answers that it was just for baby booms. It's really just for baby booms and for healing, so that when their wives are sick, I could heal them, and they could keep living. More of a doctor solution for everything, and it makes sense.